Good evening. Welcome to the Fall GT Liaison Training and Parent Information Night. My name's Kim Testa, and I'm here with Lang Lin, and we are the new MCCPTA co-chairs of the Gifted Child Committee. Within MCPS, or Montgomery County Public Schools, there is a division of AEI, which stands for the Office of Accelerated and Enriched Instruction, that supports kindergarten through 12th grade, GT, or gifted and talented education. On behalf of MCCPTA, we are pleased to introduce the Director of AEI, Meredith Casper. She was appointed in July of 2013. Prior to that, she was the principal at Pinecrest Elementary School for 10 years, where, among many things, she oversaw the highly gifted center housed at Pinecrest. Also here tonight is Ruth Green, who last summer of 2013 was appointed Director of Enriched and Innovative Programs, Office of Curriculum and Instructional Programs. Prior to this, she was the Director of High School Instruction and Achievement. Meredith and Ruth in their office are a huge support, providing enrichment and acceleration opportunities for kindergarten through 12th grade in Montgomery County Public Schools. Now we would like to turn it over to Meredith Casper, who will provide us with an overview of the program options for our students.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to see you all tonight. My other role is I am a mom of 3 kids. So I have a middle schooler, a 4th grader, and a kindergartner. So I know when you're sitting in those questions and you ask, what can the schools provide for my kids? Some of the questions that you might be asking. So my purpose tonight is to talk to you about the options that exist within Montgomery County. Options that don't require a label, can be done in your school, and can be done in other places, to really show you the host of things that we offer here in the system so you know what questions to ask when you're in your school. So I kind of wanted to start with our quote. Excellence in education is when we do everything that we can to make sure that they become everything that they can. And that's my goal as a parent, and it's also my goal as the Director of AEI, to ensure that we're making sure the resources and supports to you as parents, to the teachers, to the principals are there to ensure quality education for our children. So we'll start with the mission of my office. The mission of my office is to support all of you. So if you think about the size of MCPS, we're in charge with developing exemplary program models, instructional guidelines, curriculum components, and professional development and differentiated instruction to support students who are identified as gifted and talented or who have the motivation and potential to achieve to the highest levels. So that's a big job, because that classifies almost every child who comes in any way into MCPS, because all of our children are unique. So as I said, what I'd like to talk with you about tonight is a little bit about the local programs, the application programs, the choice options, and signature programs. I decided it was easier as a parent to break it into you by levels. So we're going to talk about the elementary school, then the middle, and then the high school, because I thought it was easier to show where we start and then where we end up when our children get ready for their college careers. So in the local elementary schools, we have Curriculum 2.0, which most of you should be well aware of our acronym right now, but it is the new curriculum that's based off of the Common Core and is being implemented to develop students' critical and creative thinking skills, as well as the necessary academic success skills to prepare them for their lifetime in learning. So really looking at what do our children need to do in college or in career, and what skills do we need to develop in them so by the time we reach that goal, they will be successful. So as our intent with our revisions to the new curriculum is to make sure that we have more time subject developed to the whole child. So really looking at the arts, the information literacy, science, social studies, and physical education, and how we pull those pieces together as a whole. So when you ask your question, well, there's a core curriculum, what do we do to enhance the curriculum? The new curriculum itself is written to go a lot deeper in terms of the standards and what we're asking kids to know, be able to do, to explain, to reason, to problem solve. But there are ways that we look at enriching the curriculum for students who have that access at the grade level. So beginning in second grade in reading and beginning in first grade in math, we offer different types of enrichments. So in reading, they offer advanced core books or novels. They offer a variety of differentiated instructional opportunities within the curriculum as defined in the planners that the teachers use when they plan each week. And then for some students at specific marking periods in the year, based on their reading level, they could be offered junior grade books, William and Mary, or research or theme-based integration projects. In the area of math, we begin the enrichment in math and acceleration in first grade. So within each weekly planner for math, there's enrichment and acceleration built in. So if your student is understanding what's expected of that particular assignment, there's automatic enrichment built into each week's lessons. Then beginning in fourth grade, which starts in third grade with the identification process, we offer a course called Compacted Math, which teaches 4, 5 in fourth grade and 5, 6 in fifth grade as a way of compacting the curriculum. This is a little different than the old version of accelerated math because we are not skipping any instructional units. We're teaching everything in entirety over a 2-year period. We also look at our science and social studies and have more scientific or historical investigations that are available for all students. And we also have the marking period inquiry projects and the task skills. You see that they've replaced the learning skills on the report card and they focus on one major concept or 2 major concepts as it relates to the units of instruction that month. When you look at our report card, we've actually had places that are identified in the report card where you have checked off in math whether your child is receiving enriched and accelerated instruction. And some of you ask, well, what does that mean? Well, that means that 70% of the week, your child, or 70% of the marking period, your child has been exposed to the enrichment and acceleration pieces of the curriculum. So that we're looking at that percentage in terms of how they do that. How each school implements the differentiated instruction in math is a little different depending on how the buildings are set up, but it's the access pieces to the enriched side of the curriculum. And then you should be aware of looking at the reading chart, which is now gone from the elementary all the way up to the upper elementary, being able to identify where your instructional reading level is on your report card as well. So they asked me when I was presenting tonight to share a little bit about the report card, so I'm going to state that I'm just the presenter on the report card. So that, as you heard, there are different categories on the report card. You have an ES, P, I, or N. And an N means that a child is not making progress on those standards, where the student really is having difficulty mastering those standards, and there is evidence that's inconsistent about how much is actually being obtained. An I means that you're in progress, meaning I can see that glimmer of hope in your child and I can see the glimmer of pieces, but I don't necessarily see all those connections coming together. I'm working towards getting towards the standard. The P means that according to what is defined by the state and the county, what that standard is, I've met that standard. So it's what is expected of students to be able to know and do. I don't know how many of you ask that question when you come home at night, what did you do today? This is what we expect them to know and be able to do. My kids maybe get the know, very frequently do not get the do. But that's what we're asking in that question. What are they meeting those expectations? And I know from your back to school nights, you should have received or given a link to the parent curriculum guides, which will really tell you what your child's expected to know and be able to do by quarter. And if you don't have those, if you type the word curriculum in on the MCPS site, you'll be able to see each sequence going all the way forward in terms of the curriculum. Now, our ES is something that we continue to work on, and we thank all of you for your feedback of asking for more clarity on that. But an ES is a child who knows what they're supposed to know and be able to do, but then is taking it to a more abstract level and making those connections and relations and applications that aren't necessarily all teacher-directed. Sometimes it's just the child asking those questions and pulling them in different pieces. And they're looking at their reasoning skills. They're pulling things from different places and moving it. Doesn't mean, and it means that they understand, but they're also moving in a different direction. And I know that there's been rumors out there that principals are not allowed to give the big ES, or we don't give any ESs during quarter one. Those are all just rumors. There has been no system statement that says that we're not supposed to be passing those grades out. I'm going to answer questions when we finish, and we can let you go first. Okay? But those are not accurate statements, and we as a system are working with our training this year to really help to develop that level of understanding with their teachers as we look at the learning tasks that they're expected to do, and when they're planning, having those conversations. So if this is proficiency, what does it mean to look like ES? What's the work product that shows that we're moving in that different direction? And I know I facilitate planning for compacted math for our students who go to the middle school. Those are the questions that we're asking. So we've unpacked it. Here's the learning standard. Here's proficiency. What will it look like for you? How does it look like for all of us together? So those are conversations that your teachers are having when they're in planning. So that's a little bit about what the elementary program looks like. In the secondary program, which is kind of middle and high school kind of merged together, you have advanced level courses. You can be advanced level in math, and you can receive advanced English and different science and social studies depending on your middle school. There is not a set model about who offers what, and that is something that my office is working on this year, thanks to feedback from you guys from last year. And also, when you look at high school, we're able to offer honors courses, advanced placement courses, and in the international baccalaureate schools that we have, the diploma program that exists with the international baccalaureate. So then you say to myself, okay, so my child is one of these kids who really gets it, really knows it. They're using the resources that are within the building. We've maximized the resources within our building. What else is available for me? So I want to talk to you about some of the enhanced program opportunities that the system offers. At the elementary program, we host a program called WINGS for students who are identified as gifted or learning disabled who are having some difficulty in the regular classroom. This is an IEP-based decision, but we're really looking at kids developing that social-emotional pieces and helping them regulate themselves. We also offer the GTLD program at Barnsley. Again, this is an IEP decision, but it's an environment created for children who really need that additional support. In terms of the magnet programs, we start the primary magnet at Tacoma Park Elementary School, which is a STEM focus this year. So they look at students in first and second grade. They have an evening event or a morning event where they'll talk about the program. They do select only a small number of outside people because there's not extra staffing put in place within this building. Then we offer what are called the center programs for the highly gifted. The center programs are an application process which, as third grade parents, you should have all received in the mail with all the information that came with it. But they're for students in fourth and fifth grade. And the typical question is who is this program for? So this program is for students who are functioning 2 or more grade levels above in terms of their thought processes, and it focuses on humanities skills. So their reading and their writing and how they apply those things to science and social studies research. It is not a math program. They follow the MCPS math curriculum, and as incoming fourth graders, they follow the recommendations that the third grade teachers made for the children prior to coming in. We do host it in different sites, and you're zoned by what is your high school feeder pattern. So if you don't know, go put your address in on the street locator, and it'll tell you what all your middle school and high school is, and you'll be able to figure out which zone that you go to. We also offer the International Baccalaureate program at College Gardens, and we do offer some immersion programs in Chinese at College Gardens in Potomac, and Maryvale and Sligo are pleased to offer French, and Burnt Mills, Rock Creek, Forest, and Rolling Terrace offer Spanish. Now, there have been some evening events that we've hosted and advertised around the county in terms of our center programs for the highly gifted. Those evenings have both passed, but the presentation and the video, that was not the video of us talking, but the video of kids in the classrooms is posted or will be posted after Friday on the AEI website. So if you'd like to see that presentation about the differences between Curriculum 2.0 and the Highly Gifted Center, I encourage you to go there. Those applications, if you're applying to any one of the programs, are all November 7th. The primary magnet, as I talked to you about before in terms of being a STEM focus, they do have a morning coffee type presentation on January 27th at 9:30 at Tacoma Park. So in order to have a continuum of services, it's obviously important to continue with a continuum. So we continue our WINGS program and our GTLD program as we move into our middle school years, offering support at Clemente, Lee, and North Bethesda. Again, these are IEP-based decisions, and it's really critical as we look at the program selection at these areas that we look at what are called least restrictive environment services. We don't want to assume that if a child is in a program as a third grader that they automatically need that program as a sixth grader. And I know that any of you who have a child who has an IEP know that it's important to have that conversation every year about what is the least least restrictive environment. But we do have a feeder pattern to help the kids move forward if that type of environment still continues to be successful for them. We continue with our middle school application programs in terms of Clemente, Eastern, and Tacoma. Eastern and Clemente both offer our up-county and down-county versions of our humanities programs, and Clemente and Tacoma, up-county and down-county, offer our math and science programs. Again, these are highly competitive programs with looking at getting into the program. You submit an application, the students write an essay, they get teacher recommendations. We look at their fifth grade. We look at their fourth grade report card and their fifth grade report card, and really trying to get a holistic picture of the kids. So it's not just one piece of data that gets a child in or one piece of data gets a child out. It's a folder approach in terms of really looking at a whole child. So if you're applying to this program or any program, we encourage you or your child to write as much as they can so that I know you and then I can read you come off the paper and know all about you when we're looking at that. We do recognize that application programs in terms of the magnets aren't for all children, so we do offer schools of choice. There are approximately 80 seats for out of consortium area. We offer a program at Argyle, Loiterman, and Parkland. Argyle focuses on digital design and development. Loiterman focuses on creative and performing arts, and Parkland focuses on aerospace. So cool things for kids to participate in. These are by lottery. So all they need to do is complete the application and they randomly pull people to be able to come. When you look at the choice programs, and particularly at the middle school level, if you want to apply to more than one, you can apply to more than one. And then you'll have to make a decision based on what you feel is the best place for you when the decisions come out at the end of February. We also continue our international baccalaureate programs, moving into what's called our middle years program because they're now in the middle years of our education. We offer the program at Key, Newport Mills, Silver Spring International, West, and West Lynn. We continue with our immersion programs. However, they move from being either partial or full to being all partial immersion programs. We do not have full immersion programs at the middle school. Chinese is offered at Hoover. Gaithersburg and Silver Spring International offer us French, and Silver Spring International and Westland offer us Spanish. Now, their meetings have also already passed, but when I met with their coordinators this morning, they said that if anyone is interested or didn't get the information, please know that they're only a website click away, and they would be glad to talk to you about their programs and give you some more unique profiles. But again, this is very similar to the elementary program. You're talking about kids whose needs cannot be met in local middle school and are functioning significantly above their peer groups. There are, Loiterman is today the 15th? Tomorrow's the 15th? Okay, so you can make it to Loiterman, you can still make it to Parkland. I haven't made it to Parkland yet, but I can tell you to take the opportunity to go see what our choice options are. They're very amazing options for our children. They, again, will also post stuff on their websites in terms of the information. So, again, I'll say it for the third time. As we move into high school, we continue to offer our WINGS program for offering support for children, and we continue our GTLD program and expanding to Northwood, Watkins Mill, and Walter Johnson. So we really have that whole continuum as we look at support from elementary school all the way to high school. When we get to high school, we get signature programs. So they're a little bit different, and they're basically school-based programs based on the schools that you go to. They are not by applying or application or a lottery that you saw in the other places in our presentation tonight. So Einstein has the visual arts. Blair has the math science focus, but that's by magnet. Am I right, Mem? Right. Those are all application programs. Okay. Einstein isn't supposed to be on this list, and I missed it, so I apologize. That's a focus school. But Blair is our math science program. Poolsville is our math science program, our global ecology, and our humanities program. So these are the magnet opportunities as you move into middle school, high school. Arts? Okay. So if you live near Einstein, you can go to the arts program and be able to come. I don't think we provide, it's a select class versus a whole day program. Okay. Richard Montgomery offers it continues the middle years program, which actually doesn't really end until 10th grade. I don't get it either, but it doesn't end until 10th grade. And then 11th grade starts our diploma program, 11th and 12th. But it is a magnet program that starts as a magnet for kids, and it's available to anyone across MCPS to apply to. Edison focuses on a variety of different things, in terms of looking at the arts and humanities. So we have a variety, I won't read the list to you because I know that you're all good readers, in terms of things that are being able to be offered. Okay. Blair offers a CAP program, which is very similar to a humanities program. Kennedy offers some leadership training institutes. Wheaton offers biomedical magnet and engineering magnet, and those are available to the Down County residents. In terms of looking at our choice programs, our Down County is considered Blair, Einstein, Kennedy, Northwood, or Wheaton, and the Northeast Consortium, which would be our Up County, is considered Blake, Paint Branch, and Springbrook. Some of these meetings have happened or will be happening, so that's an updated list in terms of and again, I encourage you to look on the websites because there's lots of information about those programs. And then looking at how our middle years programs continue into the diploma programs. As a non-magnet, we host Springbrook and Bethesda Chevy Chase. And our diploma pound programs go into Einstein, Kennedy, Rockville, Seneca Valley, Springbrook, and Watkins Mill. Oops. And then there's information for the Down County nights and the Up County nights. So last year was my first year on the job, and when I came to your meeting last year, you sent me away with a list of things that I needed to accomplish or think about or try to move forward with. I'm not a big person who boasts about myself, so I just want to show you some of the things that we accomplished. It makes me embarrassed to talk about it. But in terms of my office, we provide a lot of direct support to schools through school visits, consultations, on-site, web training, variety of different professional development. My husband's big joke this summer was, oh my goodness, I thought you had the summer off, and the summer's worse than it was when you were a principal. And I said, well, summer is all about professional development. Let's take a long weekend in September when everybody's been trained and back in their classrooms. So we spend a lot of time during the summer. And we also train a lot during the school year, but it's limited because we also don't want to impact them children not being able to see their teacher in the classroom. I also my office collaborates with other system-wide offices and school-based programs. We implement the SIPI process. If you're a parent of a second grader or elementary, that's the GT identification process that happens at the elementary level. Students are tested, all second graders are tested, and then students can be either retested or if you move in new, third, fourth, and fifth. Being identified and gifted and talented, though, only happens at the elementary level. We don't retest in the middle school or the high school level. One of the things that was accomplished this year is if your child was identified as gifted and talented, the letter for the identification that was sent home to you that said whether your child was either identified in reading or math is now placed in the child's cumulative folder. That's where it's supposed to be. But we made sure that information was in place for you. We heard, I think the statement last year was that it's the liquid gold letter that everybody holds on to all the way through high school and brings out later and says, this is my child, how can you help us? So we felt that it was really important that was so important that it actually be in the records that stay with your child all the way through their career. We've also supported the selection of students and curricular implementations for the compacted math. My office is responsible for 90% of the compacted math process. We help select the students, we train on the tasks, we look at all the profiles, we look at how many kids are in the school, what type of staffing they need, getting all your transportation, making sure all your health services are communicated, any of your special ed accommodations, making sure the teachers know what they're supposed to be at. You name it, if it's a logistical piece of setting something up for math, that's my office. We partner with the DCI office in terms of the math office, in terms of the implementation of instruction. And other things that we've done is that there was a large need to make sure that if your child's enrolled in a magnet program, when you get to middle or high school, it will say magnet this, magnet that, magnet this as you move forward, but it didn't say anything at the elementary level. So now on the report card beginning for this year's fourth graders moving forward, it'll say that they're enrolled in the highly gifted centers on their report card. So if you were to move or transfer, you have acknowledgement that you're participating in an above grade level program. Okay, the other thing that we're really working on is making sure that we are making sure everybody understands the maths of giftedness, because gifted doesn't look the same thing to all people, and making sure that they look at things that some might consider annoying to others, but not as annoying, but looking at how those gifts play themselves differently when they're nurtured and protected and enhanced as we look at our children. So we do training with the GT liaison, which is the teacher version of you at the elementary level, as well as the middle school AEIST, so that information is really out there and really allowing them to look at kids through different lenses in terms of how they're moving forward. We have revised the Twice Exceptional Handbook, which is the handbook for students that have an IEP or have a 504 or have a diagnosis code who are also identified as gifted and talented. And we've provided a lot of resources of how to support the children within the school-based program, what to do before you look at classification to make sure that we're really exploring all of our options and support for children. That's a new publication that has not hit the presses yet, but we do anticipate that it'll get out in early March. We have 8 high schools in the IB program. We have 8 middle and high schools in the middle years program and 1 primary years program. We were lucky enough to go to the IB conference this summer in DC. We have a large number of IB schools, and we're very pleased at our students and how they're performing in those schools. And we are working to expand our Young Scholars program, which is an extension of the George P. Thomas Saturday School program that focuses on STEM integration for kids that are above grade level who need some additional support and nurturing. So my questions for you is to think about what your school offers you and think about whether your school is meeting your needs. And if your school's not meeting your needs, to start having those questions about what are the things that can be offered within your school. And then when you exhaust those questions, think about all the other options that we offer for your children here in MCPS. There's a ton of options that are available to support our children. But when you make those decisions, don't just look at it in terms of an academic program, but look at it as in terms of a family and the whole child. Think about your child's strengths and your needs of your family and how it all fits together, what programs your homeschool offers, what interests match your kids, and being able to look at multiple options for the children. You know, really think about it. It is a family commitment to apply to any program that's outside of your homeschool, and it does have an impact on you and your family that you need to determine whether it will meet your needs. I have kids that are swimmers and swim 5 days a week after school. I don't know if I could do one of these programs because I don't know if I could keep up with the homework in the swimming schedule, but those are the types of conversations you need to have. And if you're a person who you have to send your child out for all this extra extension, this might be the perfect place, but then you might not need all that extra extension anymore because you've changed the environment of their learning. So that's kind of a little bit about my office. As I said, we're a busy office. We support all the children and all the teachers, staff, and parents, K through 12. I would be more than happy to answer some questions for you in terms of the programs that we offer or specific questions that you ask. I do ask that you not ask questions that are unique to you and your child. If you have questions that are unique to you and your child, I would be happy to talk to you, but I'd rather do that in a private setting to protect your own child.